And here, what I'm going to end with is also a shift that happened that I thought was kind of cool. So one of the things that we did is I think this was after 7th grade, I took Lizzie on a trip. This was like the mother-daughter bonding trip. That's how it was billed. And so you can imagine what happened. It had its high points and low points. So we took an Amtrak to Monterey because I thought it'd be really fun to go on an overnight train because I love trains. But I thought we'd kill each other if we went on an overnight train for several nights. So it's a typical Amtrak story, which I'm not going to tell you, only to say that if you've ever been on Amtrak, it was supposed to be, I think, 16 hours, and it was 27 hours to get there. We could have crawled there faster, but it was fun. So we get to this very nice little place that we're staying right on the bay, and here's where the story that I want to read you begins. The next day, I insist we go on a bike ride together. This has all the earmarks of a very bad idea. Physical exercise of my choosing, undertaken in the morning, Lizzie's worst time. Just to make matters worse, it will wrench her away from the multitude of TV channels we get in the hotel room. We don't get television at our house, so any occasion when we go out is, it's like binge watching. The proposed adventure is a bike ride along the Monterey Bay Coastal Trail, parts of which I've already run in the early morning while Lizzie stayed in bed and watched such shows as World's Heaviest Man, who is Manuel Uribe of Mexico. He weighed 1,200 pounds, in case you're interested. And also Animal Cops. This is what I'll be taking her away from, and she won't be a happy camper. I propose to rent one tandem bike, because if we rent 2 separate bikes, she'll just stop biking. When I tell her the plan for the morning, she of course balks. Biking is, she says, with full measure of teenage disgust, just about the stupidest idea she can possibly imagine. Lame, she says, not taking her eyes off the TV screen. SpongeBob. Really lame. A half hour later, after much bickering, the big threat of no more TV, and to soften the blow, the grand enticement of an after-dinner sundae at the Ghirardelli shop next door, we take off. But as we steer the rental bike out of the shop and onto the path and mount the beast, I begin to think that she may be right about the lameness of this idea. I've never been on a bicycle built for 2. I didn't realize what a balancing act this was, how even a subtle movement from the rider in back, that would be Lizzie, affects the entire operation. Remove a hand from the handlebars or lean over to scratch a leg, and the bike goes haywire. It's just what can happen in a family. What sometimes happens in our family. You're rolling along just fine, and then one person, with a single remark, changes everything, shifts the dynamic, puts everything off kilter. Lizzie can be a master in this regard. We've just started pedaling down the path. Great, she says, in that voice that clearly indicates this is not. I'm going to have to look at your butt for the next hour. That'll be fun. I would laugh if I thought she was trying to be funny, but she isn't. Roll up your pants leg, or your jeans will get caught in the chain, I order, my tone more strident than necessary. She ignores me. 3 minutes later, the hem of her jeans does, in fact, get caught in the chain. Ha! And we almost topple as I struggle to stop the bike. I turn my head to give her my best withering look. She rolls up her pants, and we soldier on. This is not our only close call. Once she leans back, shifting her weight, which jolts the bike to one side. I stamp down my foot, jamming my ankle as I try to maintain our equilibrium. Another time she stops pedaling, which puts sudden double pressure on my pedals. And as I lean in to keep our forward momentum, the bike wobbles ominously. Then a few minutes later, I mistakenly steer us down the wrong path for a few yards, riding into a parking lot instead of curving with the bike path. And as I try to turn the bike in a wide circle, we come close to tipping over once again. I want to go back, Lizzie says for the 5th or 6th time. I've lost count. I ignore her and concentrate on the soft layers of cloud and fog, the deep blue bay, the tangy ocean air. Several miles down the path, we stop the bike to turn around. We're struggling to get back on at the same time while keeping the bike upright. The ocean air is cool, but I'm sweating. Put your right foot on the pedal, Lizzie orders me from behind. Her tone is measured and authoritative. I pay attention. Now, push off with your left, she says. We count together without planning it. 1, 2, 3. And then we launch the bike perfectly for the first time, no wobbles. We pedal silently for the next few minutes. I'm taking in big, deep breaths of this glorious ocean air and thinking about what just happened. My daughter took control. She transcended annoyance, exasperation, and attitude, hers and mine, and moved us forward, literally and otherwise. I would never have had the presence of mind or self-confidence to take the reins, even for a moment, from my own mother's hands. How amazing that she did this, as simple as the act was. I'm taking my hands off the handlebars, she says, many miles down the path. She knows now to warn me. She stretches her arms out to the side, closes her eyes against the ocean breeze, and starts singing. And I'm not going to sing this, but the song is, "Today While the Blossoms Still Cling to the Vine." I sing along. We bicycle out to Lover's Point that way, pedaling hard, Lizzie hands-free, both of us singing, the sun burning up the fog.